Hello students, welcome to Saurabh's classes. Today our topic is UPSC Civil Service exam paper, and here some questions are given from there. So now let's start. Okay, here is our first question, and the question is, recently for the first time in our country, which of the following states has declared a particular butterfly as state butterfly? So we will have to find out that for the first time in our country, which of the following states has declared a particular butterfly as state butterfly. And here four options are given. Option 1, that is Arunachal Pradesh. Option 2 is Himachal Pradesh. Option 3 is Karnataka, and the last one is Maharashtra. Now the answer is option D, that is Maharashtra, and let me explain why it is called state butterfly. Now the blue mormon is a large, okay, let me write it here. Okay, the blue mormon is a large swallowtail butterfly that is found primarily in Sri Lanka and India. Primarily in Sri Lanka and India. Mainly restricted to the Western Ghats of Maharashtra. Mainly restricted to the Western Ghat of Maharashtra. South India and coastal belts Maharashtra has become the first state in the country to have a state butterfly. So the option is Maharashtra. This is the correct answer. Okay, now let's go to our next question, and here is our next question. Okay, the question is, what was the main reason for the split in the Indian National Congress at Surat in 1907? So we will have to find out the main reason among these four options, and the options are introduction of communalism into Indian politics by Lord Minto. So the first one is introduction of communalism into Indian politics by Lord Minto. The second one is extremists' lack of faith in the capacity of the moderates to negotiate with the British government. The third one is foundation of Muslim League. So the third one is foundation of Muslim League. And the last one is Aurobindo Ghosh's inability to be elected as the president of the Indian National Congress. So here 4 options are given and we will have to choose the correct answer, the correct reason for which the split of Indian National Congress was held in 1907. So now let's start. The Surat split was a turning point in the history of nationalist movement. Okay, now let me take a new color. The history of nationalist movement. In India. The main reason for the split in the Indian National Congress. Okay, let me add a new page. So the main reason for the split in the Indian National Congress at Surat was the lack of faith. Which extremists had in the capacity of the moderates. Which extremists had in the capacity of the moderates to negotiate with the British government. So here option B, that is extremists' lack of faith in the capacity of the moderates to negotiate with the British government, is the correct answer. So option B is the correct answer. Okay, now here is our next question. Okay, the question is, the Parliament of India acquires the power to legislate on any item. The Parliament of India acquires the power to legislate on any item in the state list in the national interest if a resolution to that effect is passed by the, and here some options are given. Option 1 is Lok Sabha by a simple majority of its total membership. Now option B is Lok Sabha by a majority of not less than 2/3 of its total membership. Now option C is Rajya Sabha by a simple majority of its total membership, and option D is Rajya Sabha by a majority of not less than 2/3 of its member present and voting. So here the correct answer is option D, that is Rajya Sabha by a majority of not less than 2/3 of its members present and voting. So now let me explain that there are 5 conditions under which Parliament can make laws on state list. So there are five conditions under which the Parliament can make laws on state list. The Parliament can make laws on state list. Now these are one, that is if Rajya Sabha approves, if Rajya Sabha approves a resolution with special majority, resolution with special majority and declares with special majority and declares that a subject is of national interest, Now it was the first condition. Now let's go to the second condition. Okay, the second condition is during times of national emergency. During times of national emergency, during times of national emergency under Article 253, if two or more states or more states request Parliament to make laws for an item in state list. States request Parliament to make laws for an item in state list. For an item in state list. Now, the next one is for implementation of international treaties, that is for this was fourth one and this was third one. Okay, so the fourth one is for implementation of international treaties such as micro irrigation, treaty on agriculture, etc. during the President's rule. During the President's rule. So these are the conditions under which the Parliament can make laws on state list. So here option D, that is Rajya Sabha, by a majority of not less than 2/3 of its members present and voting, is the correct answer.